What about hallucination right now? We all face this issue, right?
If you give a lot of data and you don't have a lot of retrieval doesn't work really well, then you get into a hallucination problem. And with hallucination, it becomes a trickling effect. If you have the agent, the main orchestrator is hallucinating, then all of the sub-agents end up hallucinating. And that becomes like a context drop problem. Just like one of the bigger problems that we see is like how you manage hallucination. And there's like different techniques to help you do that. But I think the first step is getting retrieval working well, and reducing hallucinations with that helps with that experience, basically. And then there's like other things that people do to make sure that you're optimizing the type of prompt that you have, that you're sending to each agent. Because depending on the type of prompt that you have, it could get your agent to do work really well or not do work well.
They can try to send so many requests to your application that your model fails to respond to other users that need it. So it's called model denial of service. If you give your agent too much autonomy, it's called excessive agency. If you give your agents excessive agency, what ends up happening is the agent can drop your database table, makes a mistake. And if you're given the agent's right access to your database, it can end up dropping your database table because some user asks about cleaning their data, for instance. He may think that okay, I may need to truncate their data. Let me just truncate the entire users table, right? So it can make these kind of mistakes because the LLMs have these kind of vulnerabilities. Like, we do need to make sure that you have guardrails in place. So guardrails to check for hallucinations.
When someone tries to build an agent, I usually ask, is 80% performance enough or not for your agent? And in a lot of use cases, 80% is enough. For example, if you're just solving customer success tickets, all right, if you're already solving 80%, that's fine. That's already a big gain for your company. So you can stop here. And on the other hand, there are some use cases where you need 99.9% performance. And especially when it's customer facing, when it's related to regulatory industries or things like this. For example, take a personal assistant agent that is booking meetings for you with your prospects or whatever people you have to meet. 80% is clearly not enough. If it sends the wrong time slot 1 time out of 5, that's not okay. The people you will meet will be very angry about that. So there are some situations where 80% is enough, and other situations where 99.9 is required. And so we are very focused on ourselves to bring agents to 99.9 for those high stakes agents. And so in a way, how you can do that is clearly removing some probabilistic behaviors at some points. And why this 80%, where does it come from, this 80%, is the compounding of errors. And because when you are building agents, usually you take a process that has multiple steps. And I don't know, if you take an LLM, for example, with a market standard 5% hallucination rate, and you have 10 steps in a row, at the end, the success rate will be just 60%. So close to 1 out of 2, you will have some hallucinations and things like this. So that's working for 80%, but that's not working for other 99.9% agents needed. So in those cases, you need something else, that the LLM. And so that's why we've been working on, you cited this hypergraph to bring some higher safety and reliability for the agents in production.
I would say the most effective way is for you to limit the AI to find all the information within the team knowledge. And for every piece of information it retrieves, there is a source that users can click on and check the source. So either it's a chat ID or it's a memo. Everything has to come with a source.
So you need to understand from the context of the conversation, which one is it?
Right.
And sometimes the speech is it's an ongoing conversation and it's not very clear. The problem with medicine is that there's no room for error. Hallucinations cost a lot. You cannot make a mistake, right? So, but it does well enough, but whatever, ChatGPT or Claude does well enough. Enough is not good enough.
Zero tolerance, right?
Zero tolerance, zero error tolerance.
Yep.
Over time, people realize that they need to have some additional capability on top of it to process much more information in real-time fashion. If you are only chatting with LM, if the LM knows it, it's very powerful, great. But if you chat about a topic with LLM, most of the time it will hallucinate.
Right.
It doesn't know this information, but it will pretend it knows this information and like we call it a hallucination from this. So hallucination has been really accurate news for the LM. Like it hasn't been solved even now today. From this, it's because LM only know a subset of information, and whenever you go out of the boundary, it will start to rambling. And later, everyone is trying to build this AI guardrail saying, don't say things you don't know, but they will still refuse to answer your questions.